Hello, my name is Carrie Strotman, Section Head, Urban Planning and Territory Management of the Urban Planning and Engineering Department of the City of Dollard-des-Ormeaux. Avant de commencer, j'aimerais juste vous dire qu'une version française est disponible de ce vidéo. As part of the revision of the city's urban planning program, Council mandated us to present a preliminary version of the main changes contained in the new urban planning program in order to validate its acceptability with the population. These preliminary orientations are further to the various public consultations that have been carried out over the last 3 years. The information that we are presenting during this consultation concerns a principal issue with respect to revising the urban planning program, namely the redevelopment for mixed commercial and residential purposes of land sites with transformation potential. These land sites, as we will see later, are mainly located along our main arteries of Saint-Jean, des Sources, and the Salaberry Boulevards. To present this preliminary information, 2 videos were produced and are available on the city's website. Each of these 2 videos is also available in French. The first video, which will follow shortly, presents general information, such as the characteristics of our territory and of our population, but also the sectors targeted by potential transformation into mixed commercial and residential use. The second video, available on the city's website, presents the proposed development standards that would be applicable to such mixed-use projects, including density, maximum heights, lot coverage, etc. The present video will focus on the following themes: the transformation of the city and its population, the ongoing planning process, and finally, how you can participate in the process. Do not hesitate to press the pause button and take your time to carefully read the information that we are presenting. The City of Dollard-des-Ormeaux is currently reviewing its urban planning program as the city has evolved over time and the needs of our population are changing. And some areas of the city have the potential to be transformed to meet the challenges of housing accessibility and affordability. The objectives of our 2 presentations are to present the strategies that can be used to meet the aforementioned challenges and to present the regulatory changes for certain areas of the city. The left side of this slide lists the various steps of the process that have been undertaken since 2023. The current public consultation serves to validate the preliminary development proposals and will also serve to complete the draft version of the urban planning program. This draft version will subsequently be subject to a public consultation process under the Act respecting land use planning and development. The dates and terms of this public consultation will be defined in the spring and made public in due course. The right side of the slide serves as a reminder that our local urban planning regulations currently under revision are required to comply with the planning tools imposed at higher governmental levels. For instance, at the level of the Montreal agglomeration, through its land use planning and development concept, or Schéma d'aménagement et de développement as it is known, and on the scale of the Montreal metropolitan community through its Metropolitan Planning and Development Plan, also known more commonly in French by its acronym PMAD. Note that the PMAD is also under review and should come into force at the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. The revision of our urban planning program therefore constitutes an important step for the community of Dollard-des-Ormeaux. The new urban planning program will allow us to formally indicate to the Montreal metropolitan community what is acceptable for our city in terms of development. On this slide, you have the opportunity to see the various steps of the consultation process carried out by the city since its launch in the winter of 2020. Do not hesitate to pause the presentation should you require more time to read the information provided. The next 4 slides will present some summary information concerning the territory and population. Founded in 1924 as a municipality, we can see that until the early 1960s, Dollard-des-Ormeaux was a municipality with a predominantly agricultural vocation. In 1960, the city obtained a new charter under the Cities and Towns Act to make community operations more flexible and convenient for city life. From the mid-1960s, urban development was rapid, and today there is little vacant land left for new developments. The remaining spaces available for new development are mainly comprised of large parking lots and underutilized asphalted or concrete areas. These spaces also contribute to the creation of significant urban heat islands. On this map, we can see the urban heat islands and their surface temperatures, which are located primarily along the main boulevards and in the industrial zone located to the south of our territory. On this slide, we find some statistical information concerning the evolution of the population. This evolution will have an impact on housing needs, both in terms of the type of housing needed and the number of dwelling units required. Furthermore, we note that housing growth in recent years has been through multifamily buildings, and this trend is predicted to continue into the future. Parallel to these housing needs, regional projects and regional planning will influence the future development of Dollard-des-Ormeaux. The arrival surrounding our city of 4 stations of the future Réseau Métropolitain Express, commonly known as the REM, and regional planning tools, including the previously mentioned Metropolitan Planning and Development Plan, or PMAD, will have a direct influence on this trend towards multifamily project development. The City of Dollard-des-Ormeaux would like to plan its urban development responsibly. Let us first mention that the sectors affected by potential for transformation have been specifically identified. They are mainly located around Saint-Jean and des Sources boulevards, and partly on de Salaberry Boulevard at Marché de l'Ouest, as well as on a land site at the intersection of Sunnybrook and Spring Garden. These sectors are primarily located in commercial zones or close to future REM stations and are comprised of vacant, underutilized, and highly mineralized land sites. It is important to emphasize that outside of these identified sectors, the future urban planning program does not propose any significant modifications. In other words, more than 90% of the territory of the City of Dollard-des-Ormeaux will not be modified under the new urban planning program. In order to clearly present these redevelopment sectors, we have accurately identified them on this map. They are located on Saint-Jean, des Sources, de Salaberry, and Sunnybrook boulevards. We will now look at each of them in more detail. We grouped land sites with transformation potential into 4 sectors along Saint-Jean Boulevard. The first sector, identified as A on the map, is north of the intersection of Ernest and Harris Streets, where there is a strip mall and several car dealerships, among other land sites. The second sector, identified as B, is at the intersection of Roger Pilon and Shakespeare, where we find, among other things, the Shakespeare Plaza Shopping Center and Place Saratoga, in which the Le Pearl restaurant is located. The third sector, identified as C on the map, is at the intersection of Lake and Westminster, where there's a gas station and the Galerie Saint-Jean strip mall. And the final sector, identified as D on the map, which encompasses the southern portion of Saint-Jean Boulevard, more specifically, the de Salaberry and Blue Haven intersections up to the municipal border with the city of Pointe-Claire. In these 4 sectors with potential for transformation, we note the presence of commercial uses, large parking lots, devitalized land sites with few animated or convivial spaces, the presence of heat islands and such. The sectors presenting a potential for transformation on Boulevard des Sources have been grouped into 5 sectors. The first, identified as A on the map, is north of the intersection of Anselm-Levine, where we find, among other things, the Dollard Shopping Center. The 3 smaller sectors in the center, identified as B, C, and D on the map, are situated between the intersections of Bellecour and that of Churchill and Sunnydale Streets. The last sector, identified as E on the map, comprises the southern part of des Sources, where we find the large Galerie des Sources and Centennial Plaza shopping centers, several car dealerships, restaurants, etc., right up to the municipal boundaries with the city of Dorval and the city of Pointe-Claire. These sectors with transformation potential are also partly located in the transit-oriented development areas or TUD areas of the future Des Sources and Pierrefonds-Roxborough REM stations. We note the presence of commercial uses, large parking lots, few convivial spaces for pedestrians, the presence of heat islands, etc. The sector with potential for transformation on de Salaberry Boulevard is comprised of the Marché de l'Ouest land site. This sector is advantageously located close to institutional, recreational, and light industrial uses. In proximity, we also observe the presence of seniors' residences, as well as a future REM station. The only land site with potential for transformation on Sunnybrook Boulevard is located at the intersection of Spring Garden. Note that the mixed commercial and residential use is already authorized for the shopping center situated at the corner of Sunnybrook and Hyman and containing the Euromarché de l'Ouest grocery store. Inside the redevelopment area of the future Sunnybrook REM station, we note the presence of a few green spaces and local shops. This is where the first of our 2 videos presenting the preliminary orientations of the future urban planning program ends. We invite you to watch the second video, where you will be able to learn in more detail about the development proposals for these sectors of transformation potential. Should you wish to discuss the development proposal, ask questions, or provide your comments and suggestions, we invite you to come and meet us at the Civic Center on Thursday, April 4th or Saturday, April 6th at the times mentioned. You can also share your opinions with us by email, through the website, or by completing the questionnaire that will be made available during the open house event. The questionnaire will then be accessible on the website until April 15th, 2024. Thank you for your attention.